So it's 8 a.m. Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, 8 a.m.
Good morning.
So good morning for us and good afternoon for you. Okay, so we have 18 participants. I think we can start. I see that we are live on YouTube right now. And so
Do you
I don't
have
know,
the
Chiara, do you want to make an...
Do you have the YouTube link, please? Can you send the YouTube link for my followers?
Yes, yes, yes. I believe Alessandra will put the link right away in the chat
I
box.
think so.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, so Gisele is saying that it's always a good time to share a beer or a glass of wine. I agree with you. Totally agree with you. So, Chiara, I don't know, do you want to make an initial note or presentation?
Yeah, I mean, I would just like to thank you all for joining this event. I don't know how much you have been able to follow the previous days, how much you know the RGCS community, but we are planning to expand the horizons of our community beyond the borders, let's say, of the European Union. This has been I mean, mainly a Europe-focused network. And I would say that in the last years, the aim is that of including people more and more from other continents. So we now created some an international organization of our activities. So we want to we have some people that are responsible for different geographical areas around the world. And the idea here was to take advantage of this virtual symposium to invite also people that are very, very far away and that probably they would have been, I mean, they would have had some difficulties coming in person to the event. But of course, for the future, we hope that this can be solved and problems of moving around will be soon over. So, I mean, now we are starting this with the great help of Emmanuel, who already organized a lot of open seminars, and he's really taking charge of our international relations with a huge commitment, I would say, and success also. Yeah, I hope that for the future we'll get a chance to see each other in person, but for now let's explore Latin America virtually, and thank you for guiding us through this exploration.
Okay, thank you, Chiara. Thank you a lot. And well, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are. I have to echo the words of Chiara and say that it is an honor to be conducting this very important roundtable to be discussing, to bring a little bit about Latin America. And of course, I want to thank Chiara and Alessandra and Francois and Aurore and Olivier, like everybody from the RGCS executive committee and also from the organizing committee of the symposium for having the chance to be here like with you this year. It was a great year, and also to be here this symposium. It's a very nice moment to think about these questions. And also thanks to our speakers of today, Marta, Marcelo, and Guilherme. I will leave the room to them in a minute, but I'd just like to bring an initial note I believe that one hot topic that we have been discussing this week is the notion of the periphery and how collaborative spaces in the peripheries can be a trend for the future, or it is already a reality considering the whole pandemic scenario and people are moving to peripheral areas or being in the neighborhood, co-working spaces. And in a sense, I believe that this roundtable is also about the periphery for two reasons. Because first, as you will see, none of the speakers and not even the moderator are from global cities. So you will not hear much about Sao Paulo, Rio, Santiago, Mexico City, but instead we are based in medium to large cities and certainly important regional hubs, but arguably places that are located in a kind of a periphery in our national context. And secondly, and above all, I believe, we are also in the so-called the global south. Although geographically Malta is in North America, but still we are also in a kind of a periphery of globalization and of capitalism. So this will also be a discussion about collaborative spaces in the periphery, but perhaps a different type of periphery, right? So the idea today is to take up on three specific topics that we have been addressing since Monday, but offering insights from the Latin American context. And more specifically, this topic is first, uh, home office versus hybrid work. So what can we expect in the pandemic aftermath between this? And to talk about this, we welcome Marta Corrales Estrada. She's a professor of innovation and entrepreneurship at the GADA Business School in Technological de Monterrey University in the city of Monterrey, Mexico. And then we will talk about regeneration policies and how can local governments support collaborative workspaces in the post-pandemic. And for this, we will have Marcelo Moraga, uh, the current president of the Co-working Chile Association, in which, if I'm not mistaken, Marcelo, it is the first national association of flexible spaces in Latin America, right? So they have been doing quite a good job for a long time, or for quite some time. And here, I don't know if Bernie Mitchell is here, but I'd like to give a big shout out to him because Bernie connected me with Marcelo and therefore made possible his presence here today. So thank you, Bernie, whatever you are. And last but not least, we will. Oh, sorry, I did something here, and my screen share just. Sorry about that, guys. As well. Do you see my presentation right now in full screen? Okay. And yes, okay. So last but not least, we'll I'll bring a showcase like niche communities within the co-working space as a solution, as a resilient solution. And to talk about this, we'll have Guilherme Oliveira, which is an economist and CEO of the C Hub Co-working, located in the Brazilian northeastern city of Recife. And Recife is one of my favorite places in Brazil, and also a city that arguably has the best Brazilian dessert, which is Bolo de Rolo. And I know that we have some Brazilians here that they can confirm that. I'm sure that Guilherme will. And so if you ever had the chance to go to Recife, do not hesitate. It's a beautiful city. And if you ever had the chance to try Bolo de Rolo, also do not hesitate in doing so. But when I was creating the topics of and the format of this roundtable, I thought it would be nice to balance academic perspective with a more entrepreneur in field perspective, because there's definitely a lot of research going on, and definitely there's an infinity of entrepreneurship perspectives in Latin America. So I take this roundtable also as an opportunity to for us to tackle practical, everyday, empirical issues and experiences, and then see what do we make of what can we make of these experiences to think about future of work in Latin America. And this is why we have these three topics and these three amazing people with lots of experience to share with us. And so this is how we are going to work. Each speaker will have up to 15 minutes to share their experiences, point of view, insights, and etc. on the topics they have been assigned to. And after that, we'll have 30 minutes of open debate. So feel free to register any comments, provocations, and questions in the chat box during the talking. And once we move to the debate, we can bring them into the conversation, or we can open the microphone and you can speak up and ask a question. And lastly, just that classic reminder to keep your microphones muted, and if you can, leave the camera on so we can feel a little more of togetherness and see each other's. Okay, so I will stop my screen now, and I will leave the room to Professor Marta Corrales Estrada. Please, you can share your screen and start anytime you want. Thank you.
You see my screen?
Yes, we see it. Perfect.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. I am honored to be part of this roundtable on the future of work Latin America at the 5th Research Group on Collaborative Spaces Symposium. The topics I would like to cover today is the drivers for the future of work, and for the challenge for institutions and organizations in order to attract, develop, and retain talent. Also, as a consequence, of course, to present this new framework, the critical success factors of virtual work and the virtual work model proposed. And finally, how to make sure that we create value with a business case and some conclusions. Part of these drivers for this virtual work are, of course, social and technological megatrends. These megatrends are the drivers, for companies to present these market needs, and the possibility for companies to reinvent their traditional work models, and in order finally to provide business continuity, and of course to create at the end sustainable value, but not just for the company, but also to make sure that is focused on the people's quality of life. As part of the social megatrends, as Emmanuel was mentioning before, of course, is the globalization, the changes in demographics, and particularly, I would like to mention this low-touch economy. This new situation in which we need to provide new health measures and security measures, and of course causing different impacting or causing economic disruption, and finally presenting different or changing the behaviors of the consumers and the communities, based basically on this pandemic, the COVID cases. And besides the low-touch economy, of course, we have other megatrends, social megatrends, like the commercial landscape in the world, ecological consumers, personalized education, etc. This low-touch economy also presents not just is of course a crisis, but it's also opportunities to reimagine the way we work and the way we behave across our different communities. And particularly, I try to present this opportunity for office redesigns and office spaces. Besides the social megatrends, we also have technological megatrends, and the importance for to make sure that we present a clear innovation or success in the innovation is important to make this match or this fit between the megatrends, the technological trends, and also the market needs. So, for instance, I think one of that is very, I think is common to everyone is for instance the possibility with all the new technologies regarding artificial intelligence, of big data, robotics, mobility, cloud technologies, 3D printing, but in particularly, for instance, the platforms like the one we are having today, in which we have the possibility to connect with one another and be able to overcome these difficulties, and in order to provide the service or the continuity for projects that we need. For instance, in this particular case, when we present, for instance, platforms, we can see some of the innovation we see here. For instance, closed loop is based on the circular economy in order to provide zero waste for and also the asset sharing, in which we have cases such as Airbnb or um, um, other platforms in which we can see that we don't have to have to have ownership of the assets. We just need to consume them, but not really own them at all. So in this case, we have all these amazing business models being so successful in providing this particular possibility. For the future of work and the forces of change, I think we can see that the forces of change are affecting basically the work itself, the moving from mechanistic to more automation levels. That of course influences the type of talent that we need in our companies or institutions. So also affecting the workforce, the need to acquire new skills, and of course the workplace, in which also there is a shift from physical presence to a more remote locations. And of course, as I mentioned, also the work typology is changing from being a more contractual, traditional, long-term employees to have a more freelancers people. And I think also that makes the makes or is influencing also the growth in all the co-working spaces around the globe. So these gig workers, these crowd workers are really being able to provide a more flexible and agile organization. It's also important because of course the cross-generational employees in the organizations, the possibility to approach, attract, develop, and retain top talent wherever they are. And I think precisely these virtual landscapes opens this possibility. And as I mentioned before, we are moving from physical interaction to a more virtual interaction. And that makes the possibility to work with virtual teams in order to collaborate remotely, to keep operation continuously moving, for instance, following the zone, starting in America, continuing in Europe, and moving forward to Asia. So I think that's a possibility. And of course, they also have challenges such as cultural, geographical, or the difference in time zones like we are having now. I think it's less um, critical in America, but it's also a possibility that you need to coordinate in order to keep the project going. And of course, is in based on my research, I think one of the difference that is important to make in virtual teams is to make sure that we have or we get that this is different to be reachable, that to be available. This virtual work model that I will propose in a minute it considers the domains for the individual in different fronts, for work, for family, for self, and for society. And of course, this virtual work model also provides the possibility to eliminate these boundaries of space and time, with expecting to have a more productive results, be more effective, and at the end of the day, deliver the results expected, but with also considering being transparent for the stakeholders and provide the quality of life for all the employees. This the second thing that I wanted to share with you was about the critical success factors for the virtual work model. We have different layers. In particular, we have three different ones. The first one is for this model to work. We need first to ground, to have the foundations. And after that, we need then to provide additional elements to enable the virtual world to be successful. And at the end of the day, we need to provide a virtual model that is really sustainable. So we start with to make sure that we have awareness of the difference in culture, to provide really a teamwork space. We need to have trust regarding the competences and the compromises that we have with one another. Besides that, of course, we need to provide the right technologies, proprietary or open. But at the end of the day, we need to have institutional ones in which we also are working in specific ones that we are going to choose for as best. And of course, it's also important to have communication protocols. It's important that all the people in the team or share the same distinctions about differences in the project. The organization, of course, has to provide the space to empower these employees to work remotely. In some traditional companies, this is kind of a challenge because we are used to have our own offices and our own spaces, and the possibility to shift offices is kind of a a challenge, a pain for many traditional employees. So once this first layer is grounded, it's important then to start collaborating. And for collaboration, we also have to have a robust set of not just to be able to listen to the offers, to the demands, and also to negotiate, to execute, and to deliver results. Then also the coordination skills, and also it's important to have the work management for the project, the work design, and to have specific roles and responsibilities. And then with that in place, we have the possibility to start work to develop this sustainable value in economic, pragmatic, and social terms, and of course also the quality of life. This is kind of for instance, I am just presenting a particular protocol for email. Sometimes we send an email and we don't have any reply back. So for that to be overcome, we provide this protocol. So when some information is just when email is just for information, or when we are expecting some action by a specific date, or some kind of reply, or some kind of comments. This is just one of the protocols I am sharing with you. Or for instance, when people are working remotely and sending messages, the possibility to use different domains. For instance, if I am working home office, if I'm working in a remote location, or in Hungary, or in Brazil, or in Chile. So it's important to know if you are available, if you are busy. So that kind of protocol is kind of it provides additional information to the teammates. As I mentioned before, it's important to provide the institutional tools, the ones that we are agreed to work with for telecommunication, for connectivity, what kind of applications, what intranets we are going to use, and of course, it's important to fit the tools to the purpose, audience, time, and place. As I mentioned before, this coordination of projects is important to make sure that we prepared and we are able to listen to the request in order to provide the right offers, and then to negotiate with the different compromises. And of course, then the third phase will be the execution. It's important to declare satisfaction. And at the end of the day, of course, it's important to evaluate, to have this assessment of the satisfaction level. This is finally the business case I was mentioning before. This virtual work is not just some buzzword or something. It really is. It's important that we are making sure that it's providing this, as I mentioned, economic, pragmatic, the practices, the protocols, and also the social value for all the collaborators, for all the employees, and also for the business. in the particular case of virtual work, we see for people, of course, less commuting savings in terms of time or economics. For the business, of course, the infrastructure savings, the cost reduction in terms of lights and all the different infrastructure. And in pragmatic terms, for instance, that for people, the possibility to acquire new skills, new practice, and for business, the possibility to have this new business continuity, organizational competences, and of course the knowledge mobilization. And in the social front, it's also important to make sure that we provide for the employees this balance of work and family, and for the business, for instance, the possibility to reinforce the image of the organization, and the possibility to have a more diverse workforce. And finally, it's important to make sure that we provide or we align the right incentives, the right technology, the organizational values to empower the people in the teams, and finally to have these leadership commitments for better quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marta, for your kind of thoughtful presentation. I think we can move right away to Marcelo. And Marcelo, we will speak about regeneration policies and how can local governments support collaborative workspaces in the post-pandemic. Marcelo, feel free to share your screen, and you have 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to you. I'm waiting. And I'm looking for my presentation. So,
Yes,
can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes, it's perfect.
Okay. Well, nice to be with you here from Southern Chile. As says Emmanuel, we are in the periphery of our country. I live in a little city 1,000 kilometers to the south from the capital, Santiago. So in this location, we can lead a national association of co-working in Chile. It's called Chile Co-work, established 4 years ago. Yeah. So we're very happy to be here to share our experience of a collaborative economy here in southern Chile, as another country who is looking to demonstrate that it's possible to make big things from Chile to the world or Latin America. Yeah. So the local governments, the national government of Chile, the regional and the local of cities governments are always trying to support us, trying to help the entrepreneurs. And in this moment with the pandemic, and before that happens, last year we had a social revolution, social crisis in Chile. So we have staying with many crises, one per year maybe. And in my city, Osorno city, we had a water crisis for 1 month without water in our city. So it was at the middle of the last year. So we are very brave with the continuous crisis. So the option is to avoid this lonely, yeah. But we know who we are in a sharing economy. We know that it's very sad to be alone with our companies. It's very expensive and it's very slow. Yeah, it's very slow. You can do it more happy, more quickly, more cheaper, doing in collaboration. So that's a big thing here in Chile. So we are an open country, you know. We have Chile Co-work is the first national association of co-working in Hispanic America. Hispanic America. I must say this, Emmanuel, because Brazil has more old associations of co-working, yeah, and SEV and co-working Brazil. You have maybe 20 years, share office and things like that, but escritor virtuais, yeah. And then in Chile, as co-working itself, we have 4 years as a national association, and we have collaboration with many persons from the world, Hispanic America, from Europe, North America, Asia, and many places. Because our country, it's an open country in economic things. The other thing that happens is that we have, with our national pass, with our national association, menú à la carte. Menú à la carte en español. In English, I think it's the same, menú à la carte, with many services. We offer things, hot desk, of course, private offices, digital events, for our companies in a single city, national events, international events, innovation. We offer for the ecosystems of national entrepreneurs. We have services of innovation, soft landing, digital transformation, mentoring, incubators, accelerators. I think it's quite different from the rest of Latin America, because you have the incubators in universities, maybe the investor angels in other places, the co-workers in other places. In Chile, we have all mixed. Not all the places, not all the cities, but it's very common to have the 3 or 4 type of service in the same place, in the same company. My company in southern Chile, little economy, little company, it's a family-owned company, have the mentoring, incubation, acceleration, internationalization, and co-working, of course. So that's very common in Chile, because in Chile we are few persons. Inhabitants are very few persons. So we have an open mind, an open paradigm, as we have in the school, we have in the university we studied. So it's very common to join this type of service. And our partners in the National Association are all of this. I think it's today, because we are incrementing daily, so now on weekly. So I hope we have all our partners here, 23 partners in all Chile, from northern Chile to southern Chile, and each one of them it's a jewel, because each one of them has an expertise, a network, a knowledge, a focus, a passion, and all this mix. It's very good. So I'm very proud to be president of this national association, because it's a modern gremio, we say here in Chile, chamber maybe, because it's very modern. We have a collaboration, a confidence, we trust in each other, and we are a good partner for the government, yeah, because we are from real entrepreneurs, real persons, real networks. So this is our national presence. This is a picture when we founded the association 4 years ago in my city, in my cohort. So that was very significant. We have 34 cohorts, 22 cities in Chile, and 13 regions. Chile has 15 or 16 regions, so we have almost the whole country. Yeah. And we offer, before the pandemic, soft landing. My company, some of our partners offer soft landing. So we offer actually closed landing. So because the soft landing of persons, it's closed for evident reasons. And but the capitals, the business opportunities through the digitalization, it's possible. So after the coronavirus plan of action, the government here you can see, we can offer with initiatives like this, like hack co-working, like many networks of co-working in the world, offering a window to the world. So I'm very grateful to have this window, because we can restart our soft landing service, for instance, yeah? So not any more closed landing. And the war pandemic gives an opportunity. All these are things that are happening here in my country, in Chile. Actually, the main campaign of image country, Chile, is called Creating Future. So it's showing made by Chileans. It's an actual current companies campaign. You can see it in the website. So permanently, our country and our cities and our company, our entrepreneurs are creating a new way to make from a crisis an opportunity. And it's a shared purpose from public sector and private. So that's very quick in Chile. Not all the Chileans are in the same opinion of the development of the economics. So in these cases, when we have big problems, we can abort a country purpose. Yeah, you remember many earthquakes in the history of Chile. Many things happens, and the Chileans makes quickly a big campaign like this, Creating Future. You can see. I invite you to watch it. Another things happening in Chile. We have here three government services. Upper to the left, you have Cercotec. It's a small business administration for the USA, for instance. Yeah, it's the same. Not more so much money, but it's similar. So they are creating actually exclusively a plan of the digitalization for tourist industry. And down in the screen at the left, you have Corfo. Corfo is the agency of development in Chile. Corfo supports many projects for my company, for Chile Core and other sectors to promote innovation and entrepreneurship in Chile. So at the right of the screen, you have the Chile.travel. So this is the tourism campaign to come to Chile, to plan to travel through Chile. So you have here mixed three sectors of public offer of service in Chile that are talking the same. To using digitalization, to take care of yourself and your family, and to look at the world. So we usually, as entrepreneurs and as National Association in Chile, are partners with these services of the national government. So in each region, each city, we make initiatives, we make plans, projects, and campaigns related with the improve the development of our country. That's real, because actually today, in one more hour, we have a pitch to defend our project for this funding of Small Business Administration in Chile, Cercotec. It's called Reactivate for regional organizations. We have a pitch to defend this project, and maybe we're hoping to be selected to make another project of development. Through our national Pase Nacional Chile Co-work, it's a membership of our clients in our co-working that can be in any co-work of the network for free. Once a week, once a month, sorry, they can stay for free and in a co-work of the network, and they have discounts in the service of each partner of the network. So we have here real collaboration, so that solidarity, friendship, and help. All this started with friendship. So we make friends, and after that we can make more business. Yeah. So we are in all the country. This is a picture of in Chilean Patagonia, Coyhaique. It was an encounter from 3 years ago. Here are some of the partners of our national association. Actually, our board is formed by me, like president, Jaime Gonzalez, our vice president from Valparaíso, House Novo Paralelo Co-working. And then is Miwa Uehara. She is the co-founder from We Do Co-working from Rancagua, O'Higgins region in Chile, south from Santiago. At the corner of down your screen, you have Ivan Fierro. He is the money man from our board. He is the founder of Casa W, Casa W in Concepcion. There you have our director, Gonzalo Camiluaga. He is from Lounge Co-working from Santiago, the capital, one of the biggest co-workings in the city, in Santiago. And there you have Mauricio Munoz. He is our coordinator. He's actually in Spain. He was, of course, in Chile. He was living in Concepcion. But actually, from the last month, he is living in Spain. So he's coordinating even our network, because our network uses technology. So it doesn't matter where our coordinator is living. Yeah. So that's our contacts data. And finally, I will show you a real example of mixing two opportunities, two words of opportunity before, after, of course, after COVID. So it's mixing tourism with heritage. So that's the things we are doing in our company. Another company from our family in Osorno. It's a tourism company. It's called Aldea Los Jardines, and we are mixing with a partnership with an experts of interpretation for tourism destination. With mixing these things, we are combining our clients, our opportunities with the co-working, tourism, and heritage from Chile and Latin America. So that's a real example we are doing actually to avoid the post-COVID and during the epidemic, the pandemic and post-COVID period. So thank you to you. I'm hoping, I mean, I'm on time and listening your things after me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marcelo. I think it's very interesting. We had one presentation during the parallel sessions. I believe it's from Fiza Brakal Ahmed, who was researching about tourism crisis in Amsterdam. If Fiza is here, perhaps it's a good conversation to engage with afterwards. And before passing to the word to Guilherme, I needed to make a correction here because I made a very terrible mistake. As actually Guilherme is from Natal and not from Recife. So they are both capital cities, very beautiful, sunny coastal cities in northeastern part of Brazil. But he's not from Recife, and therefore he's not from the land of the Bolderrolo. Then I think Cristiano is the person that can speak of Bolderrolo. But and Guilherme is from Natal, which is also a very beautiful city with lots of good foods, cashew, Brazilian dried meat, and tapioca and baião de dois and a lot of awesome foods. But then having corrected this, I'm sorry, Guilherme. I'll pass the word to you, and Guilherme will talk. Will show us a little bit of some kind of a resilient, maybe a co-working inception project that he's been developing in his space. And I think it's a very interesting and a very exciting experience of how actually there's room for think about resilience during COVID times. So, okay, Guilherme, it's up to you now.
Okay, thank you, Manuel. No problem. Recife and Natal are both great cities. Of course, Natal is a little bit better. And I would like to thank the invite. It's a pleasure being here and share something of our experience. Congrats, Marta and Marcelo, for your presentation. I can't wait to visit Aldeia Co-work at Chile. And everybody feel free to visit us. And before we talk about our niche hubs,
I'm sorry, Guilherme. Do you need to share the screen?
no, I will try
No?
do Jobs way without a presentation. Okay.
Okay.
I hope I do great.
Okay. But
So
if sorry, if Marcelo can, if you can stop your share screen so you can see Guilherme's view.
I'm trying to exit, so sorry.
no worries. Okay.
I will out.
Okay, so let's go. And talking about our project, so we are called C Hub Co-working. Okay. It's not a very Brazilian name, but it comes from our family company. We have a gallery here at Natal. It's called Seaway, and we've been in the real estate business along 20 years. I'm working the real estate business for 6 years. And how we start the work at co-working was during a visit in San Francisco. I could visit the WeWork. I didn't know what co-working was, and seeing a bunch of people work in the same space with beers in the middle of the office was something like from other world. And I told myself, why not in Natal? And coming back to my city, I started to visit many co-working spaces, and São Paulo, Rio, Recife, trying to learn how this thing would work in a different country. And I thought that may work. So in 2017, by December, we opened the C Hub co-working in 180 square meters. And what we wanted to do was, let's see how people will like that, because we are in a northeast city in Brazil. It's a small city. We have almost 100 inhabitants, but very traditional business are here, and our innovation ecosystems are like by 2018 was very small. Right now, we're not that big as Recife, as Florianópolis, as São Paulo, but we have the university doing something with an incubator, but we didn't have any accelerators here in Natal. So everything was very new, and like we were babying talking about innovation. So what we tried to do back in 2018 was, let's help get everybody together. And I knew that if we could work together and put our ego in somewhere very small, we could walk here faster. And we're starting to do some meetups. So we just got a room here and got some devs to talk about technology and saying to people, hey everybody, so that's Python, that's JavaScript, and you should have an innovation sector inside your company. And by 2018, we did great. And in 2019, we could triple our space, going to 600 square meters. And that was fantastic, because everybody in the city could be closer to innovation. And how we did it, what we could saw it, we saw that we are in a small city. We don't have a lot of technology companies, and that's a fact. We cannot say, "Hey, Facebook, come to Natal and let's start work here." We have some good tech guys and blah blah blah, but I knew that that wasn't the right way. It wasn't the easiest way. So what we did, we said, "Hey, traditional companies, we have great people here, and we have something called innovation transformation, and everybody must do that." COVID showed us that, okay, we need to do that very fast, but by 2018, we were already saying, "Hey, you could do this." And to starting doing this, what we did, we got a group of engineers and architects that work with the technology BIM. For who doesn't know, is business. No, sorry, is building information modeling. So it's a methodology where you can create projects that are integrated with all the projects. So if you have an electrical project and a structure project, this project will communicate very easily. And if you have any point of extract, you can correct everything very easy. So what we did was getting all these 20 engineers and architects to work together in the same space. And that was something hard to do when we started the co-working, because have the private rooms was easy to rent and make business. But saying to people, "Hey, you're gonna work in another company with someone else," that, like, we didn't have the traction that we want to. But when we got people that works in the same area, we showed that, okay, that works. But because worked, Guilherme, because we got a leader inside the co-working space that we call Espaço BIM, that just have engineers and architects, and these guys start to share business. Okay, so if one engineer got a job, oh, he needs an architect, he needs a guy to make the electrical project. And this was something that started to work very fast. And I couldn't even believe in that, because when I saw a young architect getting jobs very fast, and he said, "Guilherme, I can pay you the full year just because I got a job here with someone that was inside the co-working." And that was, dude, that's fantastic for me. But when we start to tell this story for other people, hey, they said to us, maybe we can do that for other areas like the law. So we create the hub jurídico, that's a space just for lawyers, and it's working very great. And what we could do is almost the same thing. So we just replicate, making the replication of the model. And right now we have a space with the hub jurídico and also with the Espaço BIM. And we have around 40 professionals working together, but they are in different companies, of course, in the collaborative space. But something that was very important wasn't just getting all these people together, because, okay, Guilherme, you are creating small bubbles inside your business. And for me, it's not what co-working is for. So something very important that we also were doing is, how can we connect people with the innovation world? Like people that are from the traditional sector, like the architects and the lawyers, with devs, with blockchain, with agile methodology like Scrum, like OKRs. So something that we love to do are the meetups. So we have meetups with talking about everything. Manuel could participate in one of our meetups, and it's something that I love very much. And when we start to connecting people from the lawyer world with the blockchain world, like, so you have a dev talk with a lawyer, like in Natal, drinking a beer and saying, hey, you should use blockchain inside your business. Why your contracts with your clients are not using blockchain? And also we were saying to the architects and the engineers, hey, y'all, we have something called OKR, we have something called Scrum, that are knowledge that were very, very far from these professionals. So that was another mission for us. It's very easy to create a room and put people inside that, but we are right now with over 100,000 square meters. So we have different people from different areas, and our mission is connect everybody. Like, have 100 square meter, 1,000 square meters is very hard, and because you have different knowledge, you do have person that thinks different, and getting everybody to connect, that's, I think, is the beauty of our job. So right now we are doing great on this, and over COVID was something very important, because in the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of engineers and architects got your contracts just stopped, and we had a bunch of contract that was stopped also because people were without job. But because we had this community, some of the engineers that were getting great contracts after the government start to invest, like with some financial programs to help the companies, the construction section just goes up, and these guys that were more connected with the bigger companies could share their jobs with the another professionals. The same thing happened with the lawyers. So what I can tell is, because we had a community, we have a co-working space that people were talking, were close, were easy to share all this revenue that was in the market. And that's something that we have a lot of persons that like thanks us for having the space. And I just say, I'm just the guy that brings the coffee and pay the energy bill to have everybody together here. And what I want to see, like, is having more people coming to our space, and or other people just make what we are doing. It's not that hard. As I said, bring the right people to the room, and like get some beers and someone to talk about innovations, about how to make the things work, that everything's gonna be okay. And that's very fun for us, because if we look like 3 years ago, we were with 180 square meters. And for a guy that didn't know what co-working was, and it's something very beauty. Other point that we can share about the niche hubs is how we could connect in the pandemic with other ecosystems. So we did around 6 meetups online with professionals around Brazil. So we talked with lawyers in Recife, in São Paulo, and they could share the reality that they were living. And Brazil is a giant country with different economies, different structures, and just because our community could talk with all their ecosystems, that help everybody a lot with progressing with our job here in Natal. And that's something is like a under the dog complex. We are like in the periphery of the periphery. Like everything when start comes after to in the end to Natal, and people like just have this thinking, and just because they have this thinking that this doesn't help us a lot. So when we connect our professional with professional from bigger ecosystems, they can say, hey, we're not working that bad, we are good as them. And the other professionals see that too. Emmanuel can tell that he could make a meetup with Erica. She's a brilliant professional, and she's from Natal. She studied in the our federal university here, and she just won. We have thousands of great people. So like the pandemic helped us to connect with other ecosystems, and this I can truly say that was something very great. Um for 2021, we hope we can bring our model for other cities. So co-working space in Brazil, they are growing a lot, and something that we have is the flexibility. So a lot of people are working at home. I don't see that as a problem. I just see that as a new way of to work. And but we know that we need contact. We need to meet people. We need to stay with another person because we need to learn. We need to socialize. That's something very important. And we are right here with persons around the world, and that shows that the technology can work. But I know that if we could be together right now in the same room, it'd be way better. And for 2021, we are getting our model for another city, and I hope in the next year in the symposium we can share our experience. So that's was a little bit for our work, Manuel. I hope I could help with our experience, and let me know if he can help with some answering some questions.
Yes, thanks a lot, Guilherme. Thanks a lot. Yes, I have been accompanying Guilherme's and C Hub's walk for quite some time since this year, and I find this very interesting. This way, like he said, if you look at it, the being the space, being space, or the hub jurídico, it could be interpreted as bubbles inside a co-working space. So yeah, so you are from a specific sector, you go to that bubble and you stay there. But no, like you go to a bubble, like a physically bubble inside a space, but it's not a bubble in terms of communicating, in terms of mixing with the others, in terms of promoting business. And so I believe it's some experience that leads us towards thinking that it is possible to run a business, like a business model, traditional, not traditional, but like a business, but also trying to do a community engagement, but also trying to bring people together. It doesn't necessarily have to be one thing one thing with another, right? So I'm sorry, this is not COVID. I'm just I don't know what happened here, but we have a couple of questions in the chat to Guilherme. I believe one is from Chiara and the other one is from Cristiano. So I would like to leave the room, Chiara, if you want to step in and maybe ask your question. Let's
Yeah, I
try
think it's pretty much the same as Cristiano also would like to ask. So it's basically how much the space is related to the surrounding neighborhood, to the surrounding area, in what part of the city of Natal the co-working is located now, and what kind of I mean, I was curious about these meetups that seem to be very effective for the community inside the space. But I was wondering whether you organize other events or if it's possible for the people outside of the co-working space to access it and to participate in some of the activities and use the.
Okay, thanks for the question. And about the meetups, they are, as I say, are gasoline. So we do in a very easy way. So we just invite everybody from the ecosystem. So we invite people from the university, we invite people from the technology community. We have all that mapped. So we try to meet everybody that are trying to work to grow the entrepreneur ecosystem. So everybody are invited. The meetups are free, and what we want is connect with everybody. And about where we are in Natal, so we are in the south of Natal. We are in a great region. Okay, so we are close from Ponta Negra. That is a tourist area in the city. But Natal is a small city, so in 10-15 minutes you are in anywhere. So that doesn't affect very much. Unfortunately, most of the technology professionals, they come from the poor region of the city. So they are a little bit far from, like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. For some cities, 40, 50 minutes not far, but for our reality it is. And that sometimes make hard to bring these people to the meetup. So unfortunately, we have a concentration of kind of society participating of our events.
Thank you. So we are now, we have about 22 minutes to stay sharp on time. So anyone, if you have comments, provocations, questions, or would like to share some point of view, yes, I think Mina raised the hand and also
Yes.
Martha. Yes, go ahead, Mina.
Yes, thank you very much, Emmanuel. That was very interesting to hear about from other geographical perspective as well. And I was wondering when Guilherme was talking about WeWork, no, because WeWork is everywhere, right? And also other big co-working companies like Regus, Spaces. In Norway, we also have Spaces. But something that maybe we haven't touched very much in our symposium was about the characteristic of these the buildings themselves, the properties themselves. Because, for example, in Oslo, I'm not sure at the beginning of your roundtable, Emmanuel, you said that we always discuss about global cities, no? And these WeWork big companies are always located in the biggest cities, and it's such a beautiful, also elegant neighborhood. I don't know about your countries, for example. And I was thinking that when you try to, not to compare, but to analyze also the private one, which are more independent, and the public ones, you see that as a main difference: the location, the property, the exteriors and interiors of the building. They look amazing, and also the membership is quite high. It's very high. I don't know about other countries. I want to hear from all of you, because I think this was not very much touched, at least in the parallel session which I attended. But it could be a very interesting variable to analyze, so to understand also what the users. I don't know, someone, because I think this might be everywhere, the same kind of phenomenon. I just want to hear from you.
I would like to answer to Mina. Thank you. Well, here in Chile, we are a country with a few big cities, so only maybe three big cities: Santiago, Antofagasta in northern Chile, or Concepción in southern Chile. So we work established in Chile, and we, as a national association in our country, Chile Cowork, we held an event, a national event, 2 years ago, on 2 years ago, yeah, in my city. And there was with us the regional manager from Chile to WeWork, Leandro Basaez, who was with us. So he was a charm person. He was talking about the WeWork company and the plans for Latin America. So they can share with another networks, yeah, as persons. So the main difference between that company in Chile, of course, I have it we work in Buenos Aires or in Sao Paulo, and Rio too. So in Chile, the main difference is that in Chile, we have an authentic entrepreneurs, authentic or local networks. Because in my city, it's a little city. No, any company could be interested to instance. So the persons, the local persons like me in my city, or others and local networks, can hold, can support a co-working space and all the work that involves. So not for profit, not for market, not for economic reasons only. It's because it's like a purpose business. It's like a reputational business. So it's different. It's different than the model of big players like we work in little cities like mine, for instance.
Yes, I think like location is still the main driver, but it's not only about location. Geographic scale matters as well, right? As we go like to different like large cities, small cities, and cities that has suburban areas and not suburban areas and concentrated areas. Like sometimes like Guilherme say, Natal is not a large city, but it has a lot of social contrasts. So maybe you live just 20, 30 minutes from the downtown or from the innovation area, but you don't have the financial resources to take a bus and to go to a meetup and to attend a meetup, even though like you are like a 20 minutes ride from there. So there's like a location, but also scales, and I think that it can be something that we can explore more about how this different contexts. And I don't know if someone else wants to jump in this conversation before we move. Yes, Marta raised her hand. Yes, Marta, please.
I have a question for Marcelo and Guilherme. Is in your experience, what are the motivations for coworkers to affiliate to the coworking space? Is more resource based related? Is more like relational based, or is more like economic or knowledge based? What motivates these coworkers to to integrate to be part of these communities?
May I? And I have two answers to you, Marta. In 2019, we were bringing a lot of association because they want to be closer from innovation. So a lot of our clients was like, Guilherme, I want to know better what this innovation thing is that you are doing in your space. But by 2020, after this first wave of the COVID-19, what we can see now is people are seeking for flexibility. They want more like they want monthly contracts. They want something that they can pay right now. They don't need to invest to have a room to work, because a lot of people in Brazil doesn't have air conditioning in their houses, so they don't have comfort. They can't pay for a good internet. So a lot doesn't have a structure to work. That's a fact. So in the beginning of the pandemic, that was something very usual to hear. So right now people are looking for a structure. They cannot afford to, because a lot of are just getting out of big rooms that they used to have before March. And I hope to, by second quarter of 2021, people gonna start look for a co-working space, because they want to be connected with something that's meaningful and something that can like help their companies grow. Because as I said, it's very easy to decorate a room, put some chairs and good table, but create a space that bring result for the companies, because they are integrated. That's something hard, and that's what C Hubs is trying to do. So if our clients see that, we're gonna have a better financial result, because we can charge more.
And in Chile, it happens two times. So before the pandemic, we had physical communities, of course, like the rest of the world. So actually, we are rebuilding new consumers, new clients, new communities, and the main purpose of the connection with the client, from the client to the co-working, is to have ship services, digital services, and to aboard maybe export opportunities. So they are using the co-working as a bridge to expand digitally. So that's the main, and a chip. That's happening here in Chile, actually.
Thank you.
Okay. Uh, Anyone else? I don't know, like Mina, if your question was properly answered. Yes, because it's a very
Yes, it
interesting
was
question.
very well answered. But I was also thinking that if this model is still sustainable, I think I got a very good perspective about that, because especially under the pandemic, these big companies, they're suffering very much because they're renting spaces, but the ones which are a little bit more multifunctional are surviving and reacting very well to the crisis. So maybe also we work in the other companies or had to change their approach. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have another questions here in the chat? I don't think so. Nothing new. So
One lection of this pandemic, independently of the sector you are, it's to have diverse incomes origins. So with co-working, for instance, mixed with tourism, with other industries, could be more affordable than to have only tourism, for instance, an hotel or hostel. So the co-working has the flexibility to offer two or three business models. So me, like a little business company, I think it's the key of surviving. Yeah.
yes, yes. Before I pass the word to Cristiano, just want to add that on these diverse types of business, one thing that I know this here from Florianopolis, and probably Guilherme or Cristiano can confirm, is that a service that became it already existed in the past, but it's widely it escalated very quickly after the pandemic, is a service of tax address. So here in Brazil, I don't know, for some reason, if you have a business, you can register your business like in your home address. You need to have like a commercial address so you can pay taxes and receive taxes. And this is something that a lot of people who are self-employed, who are freelancer, or who have need to register a business, need to, I don't know. So you pay like a small fee, a smaller fee than to rent a desk, but you pay a fee to the co-working space. And the co-working space, like you can use the address of the co-working space as your tax address. I don't know if it's common in other countries, but here in Brazil is a very big thing, at least in Florianopolis. Maybe it's the Guilherme probably has offered the same service, I don't know. But at least here from Florianopolis perspective, it's something that every space did, and it helped a lot. Of course, it didn't save the day, but it really helped a lot of spaces to live, to find another day, like to survive during the pandemic, and it's helping a lot still. But just to add a bit in this, and I can pass the word now to Cristiano. He would like to make a question to Guilherme.
Hello, you. Congratulations to everybody, to all the initiatives. But my question is to Guilherme, just because it's more related to my field in architecture. Guilherme, as I understood, the what guides the BIM, the espaço BIM, it's really the need for innovation and the interest in innovation in also in the process of using of being and etc. But is there any other guiding ideas that keeps the cohesion amongst all people, like I don't know, social architecture or tactical urbanism, or I don't know, even real estate development or something like that, because it's really hard, I think, to just to maintain. If it's not a office of projects, what keeps different people together? And I don't know if you understand. I'm very interested in how the engagement is maintained.
Uh, just one word can answer your question. The word is jobs. Just because I have 3 engineers inside the Espaço BIM, that they are more, as I can say, like more famous in the ecosystem of construction. These guys can share their job with the other coworkers because they need help. And in the end, is more expensive have they as employers than partners. So the what they bring everybody together is the B methodology, and what keep them together is because they are sharing jobs. So that's how it works. It's not that hard, but just because I have 3 guys inside the space that they have a lot of work and they have the right mindset of share working, because that's something hard in other places. Most of the people know I'm gonna do that for me, but they don't. They're sharing. And just sharing other example. Here in Brazil, there is an institute called Sebrae. Sebrae have a mission to help small companies to grow. And Sebrae here in Natal is the most important institute that help the entrepreneur ecosystem, also the innovation ecosystem. And next year we're gonna open a C Hub co-working inside Sebrae, and we got a great job for the professions inside our Espaço BIM. So Sebrae, they're calling the entrepreneur space. So not just in Natal, but in another cities in Rio Grande do Norte. So we got a deal to them that like 5 of the professionals can pay 3 years of contracts with us. So like as I said, jobs and the methodologies is what keep them together, and that's it.
Okay, thank you, Guilherme. Thank you, Cristiano. We still have more 5 minutes, so I don't know if anyone has one last comment or thought to share. If not, perhaps we can I can pass the word back to Marta, to Marcelo, and to Guilherme, make some final remarks, like very quickly, 1 to 2 minutes, just final remarks if you want to, and then we can end the session. If is that okay? So please, Marta, if you want to make final
Just
remarks.
thank you all for your interest and for the invitation. I just want to share with you my experience regarding the co-working spaces, at least in Monterrey and in Mexico City. Usually, there are different kinds of co-workers of co-working spaces. The ones that are more niche focused, for instance, the people related with health programming. So they are developing software for health as providing health solutions. Or there are others that are more like um, related with designers or architects, in which they are offering this kind of projects for the community. That's regarding the different kind of co-working spaces, different from WeWork, because WeWork is more like a real estate kind of contract. Um, and on the other side, at least in my experience, it's important the location, usually in Mexico City or in Monterrey, which are industrial cities and major cities in Mexico, the location is important regarding because it's connected to the corporates, it's also connected to the financial sector, it's also connected to universities. So it's kind of a hub in which the you have the right connections there for just to get to, for instance, to deliver the pitch for a particular project. So I think basically that's what is happening in Monterrey and in Mexico City. The location is also important to have because for all the freelancers, which is kind of a is important to consider it. In the past, for instance, at least in Mexico, people just to after they finish university, they wanted to be part of a big corporation, multinational, better. But today, like more the entrepreneurial spirit is more in their DNA. So they want to be they wanted to they most of them they want to be their own and to participate in their own business. So in that sense, they really need a space which is not owned, but it can be used on demand. So in that case, I think that's why the co-working spaces in Mexico are in such a high demand, basically because you can find the right place for you for it to work independently or to have your meeting rooms or to have the big space for your to have a pitch night or whatever. So I think that's what's happening in terms of the location of the co-working spaces in big cities in Mexico. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Marta. Thank you very much. Marcelo, do you want to make any final comments?
Just to invite you to collaborate, to make business with the friends, so and to share a purpose, yeah, and don't look the little companies like only the persons that must to work for us. So look at the little companies, the little cities, the niche opportunities, like that's a big opportunity. So that's my main message. So I'm open to collaborate from here in Southern Chile. So it was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Marcelo. And finally, Guilherme, do you want to make any last comments or remarks?
I'd like to thank the invite. It was a pleasure to share our experience. I hope it was something meaningful for everybody. And as Marcelo said, we are open here to collaborate. That's something that moves us. So please, we are free to contact us and let me know if I can help.
Okay, thank you very much. That being said, we are very sharp on time. And without any further comments, I just would like to thank everyone's presence here. I'd like to thank from Marta and Marcelo and to Guilherme to share with us their experiences, their point of views from different local contexts, but and very local contexts and very different, but all and somehow very Latin context and very Latin experiences. So I think this is very, it's nice to see that in different, there's 3 different worlds in Latin America, but they also share some Latiness. I don't know how to put it, but I believe that there's something in it, and it's very rich, it's very inspiring. So I think I'll pass back to Chiara. So I don't know if you want to make any final.
Yeah, I just wanted
Yes.
to thank you all. Thanks, Emmanuel, for organizing all this and for supporting us in general in the organization of the whole RGCS symposium. I would like to reiterate Fisa's comment. The past few days have been great, very inspiring and intense. So we're all feeling a little tired now, but I think that this was a great conclusion. I like that despite the very different also composition of the two panels that we had today, the Asian one and this Latin American, there were still some common interests and topics that have been addressed. We talked about technology, mobility, collaboration, and culture. So I really think that there are a lot of themes that keep us all connected together and that will foster our collaboration, I think, in the future. So let's keep in touch in the RGCS group. And I hope to meet you soon sometime. I don't know when exactly, but somewhere in the world.
And personally, right?
And in person, of course. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.